Welcome to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Thank you for joining us. We start the show this week with news about zoning. Over the years, Montgomery County's zoning code has become overly technical and difficult to understand. But that's about to change. As Susan Kennedy tells us, an effort to revise the code aims to make the document clear and consistent. Susan?
Lorna, the rewrite effort aims to make the zoning code easier to use. It was last rewritten in 1977 and currently contains 1,200 pages. The Council's Planning, Housing, and Economic Development Committee is continuing its work on the rewrite of the county zoning code. The revised code will reduce the number of zones, clarify uses for each zone, and rethink existing commercial strips and office parks.
The whole point of this is to straighten out a very lengthy, cumbersome, and complicated document that has a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of anomalies, and a lot of things that are just really out of date for controlling the future of development in Montgomery County. I'd like to think that when we're all done with this, and it's taken a while, we're listening to everybody, we'll have something that's clearer, easier to follow.
Included in the committee's latest discussion, whether developers should be allowed to have more density in their projects if they agree to provide additional moderately priced dwelling units or public benefits like parks and open space.
What they're proposing is to continue the existing rules on top of the new zones that prioritize our commitment to seeing more affordable housing. So right now, you can build over a certain level if you provide XYZ amount of affordable housing. And that continues through with this. What we're finding with the rewrite process, a lot of people didn't know what the current rules are. So they're a little surprised about this and worry about how this affects their expectations. And what we're being told by the planning people is actually that's what we've been doing all along.
Fed committee members are also evaluating changes to employment and industrial zones in the county. The rewrite proposes 3 new employment zones created with the intent to reduce dependence on cars by providing employment areas with supporting residential and retail uses. Also included are 3 new industrial zones, light, moderate, and heavy. Like the employment zones, the industrial zones do not specify a mix of commercial and residential density allowed.
We're looking at what the planning board is proposing. They're proposing to redefine some of our employment zones and industrial zones, and I'm sure we'll have a lively conversation about what does that really mean and what are we achieving here.
The Fed committee will continue its review of the proposal through the summer with the plan of bringing it to the full council later this year. In Rockville, I'm Susan Kennedy for County Report This Week.
Executive Leggett recently met with over 50 Latino leaders at the Silver Spring Civic Center as part of an ongoing effort to attract more Hispanics to participate in county boards and commissions. There are more than 80 county boards and commissions where county residents volunteer and have their ideas and opinions heard on all issues that impact the community.
We take their ideas and their suggestions to heart because you don't want people to give up their time, their energy, and effort, and you're not listening to them. You're not welcoming what they have to say. You're simply going through a process. So we have to make certain that we inform them that they are welcome to participate, and we're going to treat them with dignity and respect, and they should be a part of that. Secondly, we need to make certain that when they do in fact participate, that we're going to take their ideas and suggestions to heart and act on them accordingly.
Despite the open door policy by the executive's administration and the fact that Latinos comprise over 17% of the population in Montgomery County, Hispanic participation in those boards is still minimal.
I think that we saw with the last elections that the Latino vote has grown and people are participating more in that way. But we also want them to come out not just every 4 years at the elections, but also be more involved in the decisions that affect them locally, probably affect them more because it's impacting their roads, their schools, their parks. So that's where this event is focused tonight, is getting them to come and be at the decision-making table for the decisions that are made about their lives locally.
The county executive's Latin American advisor group has taken leadership recruiting more Latinos to step up, apply, and serve. This Latino Leadership Roundtable was one of the ongoing efforts to inform and attract more community leaders about future roles as a county board member.
What's so important for us is to have every voice heard, and so we're asking people from throughout the county to become involved in the committees and commissions that are available here, because if we're not sitting at the table, our voices are not heard.
Anyone interested in participating on county boards can visit the county's website or call 240-777-2525. The Minority Business Enterprise University came back to Montgomery County for one day. The conference provides local and regional MBE businesses the opportunity to meet one-on-one with procurement officials and learn about upcoming procurement opportunities. The MBE University, which was hosted at the Silver Spring Civic Center, provided participants with procurement matchmaking opportunities with public and private entities.
Here to the state of Maryland to support your companies here, and what we're most excited about is that this will be an international center. So what we do is we assist your companies in gaining access to contracts, capital, and new markets. And as I indicated before, we've assisted companies to the tune of approximately $4 billion a year, year in, year out. That's up from $2 billion when I came into the agency. It speaks to the commitment of this administration to ensure that minority-owned and operated businesses play on a level playing field.
The 2013 MBE University was supported by the Governor's Office of Minority Affairs, and one of the efforts this year was to expand the county's minority business certification. Montgomery County is finding new ways to help small business owners thrive in this economy. With over 30,000 business owners in the county, a new small business panel strives to help owners through advice from regional business leaders.
Montgomery Community Media unveils a new resource for small businesses, Montgomery County Small Business Day. Small business owners listened to panelists who gave them top tips on dealing with social media, finances, and growing their business abroad. The sold-out inaugural event with about 100 attendees brought in business owners from all over Montgomery County.
There are a lot of major companies here that work inside the Beltway and around it. So to come to what looks like a small meeting in Montgomery County is actually a meeting of some of America's movers and shakers.
So I'm looking to grow my business down in the Montgomery County area. So I'm here to learn about the different businesses in the area.
This business owner came from Prince George's County to participate.
I really want to see, like I say, what the county has to offer and also meet other potential partners.
Navigating social media can be difficult for a small business owner, but Montgomery Community Media's panel discussions help business owners navigate their way through social media, marketing, and teaching them best ways to spend their money. Knowing your customer was a major theme among panelists.
Many times people make an assumption that this is what the customer wants. But if you put your head inside your customer's mind and you look at yourself the way you believe that the customer is looking at you, you're going to be so much better prepared.
County council members who attended the event say small business owners are invaluable.
What we are celebrating is the role you play in our community. Steve Silverman often says in Montgomery County, small business is big business, and that is certainly true.
For County Report this week, I'm Tamika Smith.
When we come back, the county is seeking to increase its nightlife. We'll tell you what could be some of the challenges faced in that process.
This summer, dig up some fun. Dig into reading. Who knows what you'll find? Explore with books and make the light shine. If you dig deep and are very clever, you'll find adventure and buried treasure. Watch the past unfold as stories are told. When you discover books, your imagination explodes. There's an amazing world right under your feet. Uncover the secret to make your summer complete. Visit your library and dig into reading.
Did you know there are more than 10,000 county government phone numbers? But there's only one number you need to remember for non-emergency calls, 311. MC 311 is Montgomery County government's online telephone information system. Need information? Have a problem or complaint? Trying to locate a county government facility? Call 311. The call center is open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The website is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Increasing the nightlife in Montgomery County will take more than changing a liquor law or issuing new licenses. At a recent leadership summit, experts share best practices on top issues, including safety, branding, and transportation.
Boosting the nightlife in Montgomery County won't be an easy task. That's according to Councilmember Hans Reamer, a major proponent of the initiative.
You know, we are not yet thought of as a kind of youthful place. And that is the part that we're really missing.
A sociable leadership summit in Silver Spring brought together experts and members of the Nighttime Economy Task Force to share best practices on managing a district focused on dining and entertainment. Often liquor control laws are the first issue brought up.
Alcohol law is very confusing. It's not something that a regulator usually just says, let's change. It's a change because that community wanted a change in an alcohol law.
Jim Peters led sessions on transportation and safety.
And many cities or jurisdictions plan for the daytime economy, and they make sure that the person who works in an office can get there at 7 o'clock at night, but often neglect to figure out ways in which to get the cook or the bartender or the server or the patron home at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Transportation and safety are issues that this Bethesda Chipotle worker knows well.
I get off of work at 11, catch the bus like at 11:15. I get out here probably like 11:30, 11:45, and then from there it's pretty much got to catch 2 more buses. And then when I could just be catching 1 bus, which should be the F4, but that bus stops running early.
The Leadership Summit brought in the D.C. Police Chief to hear her perspective on policing the district's nighttime destinations. The chief says she remembers when Chinatown grew into what she calls a mini Manhattan.
The Chinatown model has really driven how we assess different areas now that are developing around the city, and we use that as an example of what you can do right.
For County Report this week, I'm Tamika Smith.
A new Montgomery College program has just been given its first endowed scholarship, and MCTV's Michael Brown has a story.
A Montgomery College alumna has endowed a scholarship to support a new college initiative that kicks off this coming fall semester. Carla Berg Walker graduated from MC in 1974 and just retired from MCPS after 26 years of teaching. And she just endowed the first scholarship for MC's new ACES program.
Having worked in Title I schools for most of my career and seeing many children of poverty who really have no plans past tonight, and realizing it's really important to help them realize a new future that will help their families, not just themselves. I really think back mostly to my students and what can I do to give back to them. I know I gave them a lot as a teacher, but I still want to give to them. And so I've been thinking about this for probably maybe 30 years.
And just how did she endow a scholarship on a teacher's salary?
Once I started to work with a financial planner, he knew that this was a goal. But basically, it's setting a priority and deciding whether it's buying a house, buying a car, if you want to do something, you can do it.
Endowing a scholarship for MC's ACES program was a logical fit, given her personal background and teaching experience.
Well, I knew I wanted to endow for first generation, since that's my category, but I also wanted to go to a Montgomery County student, and preferably an underserved student who don't know the pathway to get to college. And that's really the big purpose of the ACES program, is to give them that pathway from 9th grade through college to ensure that they become college graduates.
And Walker is not content to just set up a scholarship. That's just the beginning for her.
So I'm actually volunteering with the ACES program. I'm going to be on the ACES Council, and I'm also going to be doing some outreach, sort of talking to people about ACES, about the idea of endowing, donating. The one thing that I realize now is it doesn't have an end to it. I thought I was setting it up and then I was going to disappear off into retirement. So I realized that there's another purpose for me as a part of this legacy is to help them grow the scholarships.
For County Report this week from Montgomery College, I'm Michael Brown.
When we come back, MCPS approves its new strategic plan. And the city of Rockville reenacts a Civil War moment. All this when we come back with County Report this week. Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. MCPS Board of Education approved its new strategic plan based on past performance and looking into the future. Here is the story from MCPS TV.
All in favor?
The Montgomery County Board of Education has approved a new strategic planning framework that will guide the district's schools and offices in the coming years. The framework builds on the work that Montgomery County Public Schools has accomplished over the past decade, while preparing our staff and students for the demands of the future.
We have to prepare our kids for a new world and rethink what they need to know and be able to do. We also have to think about how we organize ourselves as a 21st century organization.
The framework, called Building Our Future Together, focuses on the three competencies that students need for success in the 21st century: academic excellence, creative problem-solving skills, and social-emotional learning. It also includes a continued commitment to operational excellence.
Always an opportunity.
Staff, students, parents, and community members contributed to the development of the framework, including network teams that help define action statements around each of the three competencies.
When I saw it in its final form, there's so much that actually can activate a classroom for different action for the future, and this was something that was really exciting to me.
MCPS will monitor its progress using data at 5 important milestones in a student's education, from elementary school to graduation. This data will include assessment results, course completion, hope, well-being, and engagement, graduation rates, and other important indicators. The framework will be rolled out during the 2013-2014 school year, and MCPS schools and offices will begin to align their strategic plans with the Building Our Future Together framework.
And now the work really begins, because we really have to look at how we're going to put this into operation, what our teachers and our principals and our PPWs and psychologists, what are they going to be doing to help with it?
The goal of the framework is to spark innovation and creativity, as MCPS seeks to provide all students with an education that prepares them for the future.
So we're really excited about the great work and the innovative work that we know will take place with this framework.
Visit the MCPS website for more information.
Each year on the last weekend of June, Heritage Montgomery hosts its signature event, the annual Heritage Days celebration. This 2-day, free of charge, county-wide festival offers visitors an opportunity to sample numerous sites representing the history, culture, and natural beauty of Montgomery County. Rockville 11's Bridget Suizo recaps one reenactment event that happened in downtown Rockville 150 years ago.
On the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, the Civil War came to Rockville.
We've come here to free you from the oppression of the Yankee government.
On June 28, 1863, on his way to the Battle of Gettysburg, Confederate General Jeb Stuart's cavalry rode into Rockville.
The federal authorities have to understand that they can't come to Virginia and arrest civilians. This war is between soldiers, and the men that they're holding are not soldiers. So I'm going to take your civilians, and we're going to make a little parley trade.
It was the capture of Union wagons in town which proved to be a critical hindrance in his progress towards Pennsylvania, according to historian Robert Plum.
He was supposed to meet up with troops in Gettysburg. He was supposed to support Robert E. Lee. But in fact, for a number of reasons, not the least of which that he captured a Union wagon train, it slowed him way down. So by the time he got to Gettysburg, the battle was half over. His commander, General Robert E. Lee, was furious with him. And he really didn't do the job he was supposed to do, which was to be the eyes and ears of the Confederate cavalry. So he got there late, and many people in the South said, well, the reason the South lost the war was because Jeb Stuart wasn't there to do his job of gathering intelligence.
The Heritage Days weekend, sponsored by the Heritage Tourism Alliance of Montgomery County, consisted of countywide events, reenactments, and lectures giving residents and visitors an interactive glimpse into our region's history.
But there are buildings still standing that survived the Civil War. And I think there's a strong feeling among most people who've lived in Rockville for a while that they're, in fact, surrounded by history.
That feeling of being surrounded by history will be officially preserved since Rockville is now part of the county's Heritage Area Management Plan, a designation that qualifies the city for state and county heritage area grants, an asset that can only help to promote Rockville's rich history.
I think people are very excited to learn more about the Civil War, especially how it pertains to Rockville, their place, where they live. And so that's why I think you see the great turnout that we saw today.
As a historian, I'm encouraged whenever I see people show up to things like this and have a real interest. And I've been to a couple of sessions today, and the questions are just excellent. So you know that people are engaged and really interested in the subject. So I'm sort of on a historian high, if that's the right thing to say.
To learn more about the history of Rockville, go online to rockvillemd.gov/history. For County Report this week, I'm Bridget Suiso.
When we come back, Montgomery College holds a conference only for young males. We'll tell you why. Also, we take you to the trophy ceremony at the AT&T National Golf Tournament. We'll be right back.
There's still time to register for summer session and fall semester classes at Montgomery College. Register in person at any of our 3 campuses or online anytime, 24 hours a day. And don't miss your opportunity to catch one of musical theater's all-time classics as MC's 36th season of Summer Dinner Theater presents The Wiz. Performances begin July 12th in the Theater Arts Arena on the Rockville campus, and you can order your tickets online 24 hours a day. Chautauqua 2013, Turning Points in History, will host Rachel Carson, Amelia Earhart, and Jackie Robinson at the Germantown campus from July 10th through the 12th. The characters will talk about their experiences and answer questions from the audience. These shows are free and open to the public.
Welcome back to County Report this week. I'm Lorna Virgili. Now we take you to the Montgomery College Rockville campus, where the 2nd annual Game Changer Conference was recently held.
Developing future leaders, Montgomery College hosted the 2nd annual Game Changer Conference for young males at the Rockville campus.
With the intent to give back to the community, the Game Changer Conference was created by Don and Mona Williams to help prepare today's young males by teaching them skills that would help them build confidence and values they will need to get through the next stages of life.
Actually, Cliff McKnight is one of our board members, and we got Cliff involved with this organization in the early stages. We went to his house and met with him and his wife, and they came on board immediately. So as we discussed what we think that the community needs, Cliff stepped up and engaged Montgomery College, and they have supported us completely.
As a board member to UCF, I saw it as a natural fit for us to outreach to our young males, given the achievement gap that exists with the minorities, specifically Latinos and African American males.
Although last year's conference was a success, the Game Changer Conference is designed to close the achievement gap in young minority males. A good way to reach this demographic, Montgomery College partnered with Montgomery County Public Schools this year.
We both have the same goal in that regard, and the other thing is that today we have probably twice as many young men here today than we had last year, which attests to that partnership, the partnership between Montgomery College and Montgomery County Public Schools.
We started talking about what it would mean for Montgomery County schools to play a more integral part in this work. And so 2 of the things that we've done off the bat was to arrange transportation from 3 different high schools all over our county to make sure that children, many of whom don't have the economic wherewithal to make a trip on Saturday to Rockville could get here. So we sent school buses to 3 high schools to pick them up.
At Montgomery College Rockville campus. For County Report this week, I'm Stan Jones.
Now let's meet our pet of the week. Let's go to Kathy Stanhope from the Humane Society. Today she brings us a female cat. Kathy?
This is Kathy Stanhope at the Montgomery County Humane Society with your pet of the week. And this lovely lady is Mullet. I think it's a terrible name for a beautiful cat. She is a semi-long-haired cat, probably a Persian mix. She's a 5-year-old spayed female, very friendly, very loving. She really would like to go home with you. She likes sitting on laps, although she really does not like to be carried around or held too much. But as I said, she does like to come over and cuddle on your lap. She also is good with other cats and with dogs, but we find out that it's only certain dogs. So if you're thinking of adopting Mullet and you have a dog in your family, you might want to have them meet, because she loves some dogs, but for some reason she takes a dislike to certain dogs. So you'd have to find out how that went. But Mullet is a good old girl. She's, like I said, she's 5. She's looking for a home. Come on down and meet her. Mullet is here with lots and lots of friends. It's kitten season. We have kittens, we have cats, we have dogs, we have guinea pigs, chinchillas. We have the most beautiful little duck out in the yard right now. So if anyone's looking for a duck or a chicken, we have that too. So whenever you're looking for a pet, remember to adopt. Do not shop. Come to your shelter first. We always have the animals changing every day. If we don't have what you're looking for, we will find it eventually. So always call us at 240-773-5967 or visit us on the web at mchumane.org. We can definitely find something that you're looking for so you wind up with a great new companion.
Some of the world's top golfers visited Montgomery County during the last week of June for the AT&T National Golf Tournament at Congressional Country Club in Bethesda. My MC Media's Sonia Burke reports that the tournament's opening ceremonies included a patriotic salute to military service members. Sonia?
Although he's not playing in the tournament, Tiger Woods attended the opening ceremonies of the AT&T National right here at Congressional Country Club.
Oh, say, can you see
the opening ceremony took place at the first tee and included a patriotic salute to the brave men and women who serve our country.
This tournament also gives us a chance to honor our men and women in the military. I am proud to say AT&T has long supported active military personnel, their families, reservists, and veterans.
Come up to each and every serviceman and woman this week, tell them thank you, because we really do owe our freedom to all their hard work and sacrifices. They leave their families for months at a time. They come back with debilitating injuries, and sometimes they don't come back at all.
I know I speak for everybody, all the wounded guys, that we're very appreciative to be here in America today.
Tournament officials presented David Faraday and the Troops First Foundation with the 2013 Military Charity of the Year Award. Tiger then teed up the opening shot for 2 wounded warriors, and later at a press conference, he spoke proudly of his foundation's work and expressed regret that an injury was keeping him from play in this year's tournament. Fans said they share Tiger's disappointment, but they're also excited to see some of the world's other top players.
To me, I was disappointed, but at the same time, you're kind of happy just because I hate the crowds that once he's on a hole, you cannot move around at all.
So excited to be here. It's been a dream to come to Congressional and see the AT&T National, so I'm really happy to be here.
Before he teed off in the Pro-Am, Masters champion Adam Scott said he's glad to be back in Montgomery County.
It's good to be back here this week.
This is the 7th year for the AT&T National and the 5th time it's been held at Congressional. To date, this championship golf tournament has raised over $15 million to benefit local youth. For County Report this week, I'm Sonia Burke reporting.
Despite several thunderstorms during the tournament, the AT&T National wrapped up on schedule, and Executive Leggett was present during the trophy ceremony, along with Tiger Woods and members of the governing board at Congressional Country Club. This year's champ was Bill Haas, who took the trophy and the $1.17 million prize that came with it. With that, we close this edition of County Report this week. Remember that we want to hear from you, and we invite you to join the Opinion Forum at engage.montgomerycountymd.gov. We would also like for you to like us on Facebook. Join us again at this time every week for a look at what's going on inside Montgomery County. I'm Lorna Virgili, and thank you for watching.